How's it going? You got Seb Brantigan from Ipswich, United Kingdom, and are you looking for some dream board examples and looking for ways on how to create a vision board to really visualize your success? If that's the case, then you're most certainly in the right place. What I'm actually going to do in this blog post that I'm going to share with you is I'm going to actually show you some real dream board examples. I'm going to show you some of my dream boards, show you some from other people who have created really good dream boards, and I'll give you some tips. You want to make your dream board look very three-dimensional. You want it to look like almost like you're there, or it's like, just a lot more realistic. Okay, and the secret behind it is make it look as three-dimensional as possible. And to do that, you need to be cutting and sticking onto some plywood. It's going to be very hard to create that visual effect doing it on a computer. You'll understand more what I mean when you actually go and check out the blog post. It's somewhere in or around the video, so make sure to just click the link if you see it. But what I'm actually going to do is give you some real pointers that my mentor shared with me that he managed to use to really attract some things into his life. And he shared these concepts with me, and I started creating dream boards the way that he showed me, and I really manifested some awesome things into my life. So if that's what you want as well, if you're looking to really manifest some great things in your life, whatever business you're building, even if you're just looking to reach a certain goal, even if it's not business oriented, it could be a relationship goal, it could be a career goal, it could be anything like that. It doesn't matter what it is. Having a right dream board and knowing how to create a dream or a dream board, vision board, whatever you want to call it, to really visualize your success properly. If you're able to do that, then you're able to see things a lot easier, and you're just able to put in the right actions, achieve the results that you want. So again, click the link in the video description or in or around this video to check out these dream board examples, and I will see you on the inside.
Okay, you got Seb here once again, and so now I'm going to actually show you physically how to put together your dream board. Okay, so how to create a vision board and a couple of dream board examples that I've done personally. You're looking at my third dream board that I've actually done, and so I'll actually talk you through this just a little bit. So you can actually see here there's quite a few different things going on. So we've got happiness there in the middle there, or sort of center left, and then we've got kind of this African, I don't know what this is, it's like a little wood symbol thing, so it kind of reminds me of like Africa. I've always wanted to visit this, and my friends have been there. We've got a Rolex in it. We just kind of zoom in so you can see. Yeah, perfect, awesome. So you can see the Rolex. It's a high-end Rolex. We've got a MacBook Air, very high-end laptop. We've got a yacht here, so there's a lot of items of luxury, of opulence, and that's the we've got a tag here, a watch over in the corner here. You can see I've got a beach hut, an emerald, a private jet, some gold, all that good stuff. You want to have this in your dream board, and so what you want to start with is you want a good backdrop. You notice we've got the forest here. That's the backdrop. The blue skies and the beach here in the sea. Backdrop. We've got the poolside here, and you can kind of see really into the distance. You want to create this 3D effect. That's really crucial. But you can almost see for miles. It's the same as on the beach here, and when you look through the mountains, it's like you can just see for miles and miles. That's the effect you want to create, and I'll show you in a second what not to do, how to make it look not 3D. I'll show you some of my older ones so you can get an idea of some tips on what to avoid doing. Okay, and your first dream board you do is not going to be perfect. I'll show you mine in a sec so you can so you can really see that for sure. So you want the backdrop, which is basically just a couple of large photos. Okay, and where you can get these is this is, by the way, is on plywood, which you can get from Staples. I actually got this from eBay. If I flip it around, it's just normal plywood. It's not really that thick. You don't have to, if you have someone who's just got some wood sitting around in their house, they might be able to hand that to you. Then I say go for it. So you'll need some plywood, okay, and you're going to need some scissors. Some small ones are good because you can kind of cut around these tight angles, like these pictures that are quite small. You'll need a glue stick. Call it Pritt Stick here in the UK. I don't know if you've got it in your part of the world, if you're not from the UK. And then we'll need some magazines. Now, great place you can get magazines is I went down to a travel agent and picked up a bunch of these. You know, they don't mind you taking a load of magazines. It's absolutely fine. I did the same. You see the Rolex there. I went down to the Rolex shop and I took a couple of magazines. If you're really stuck, then you can actually print these online if you have a good printer. But make sure the print is high quality, and you want the pictures to be quite glossy. Okay, you want them to, notice how mine shine a little bit. You want them to be good quality pictures if you're printing them. You know, the best quality possible. If they're not good quality, then start over and make them as best quality as you can. So really what we'll do is, you know, we'll flick through this magazine. Okay, and if we see something we like, then, you know, we will just rip out what it is that we like. Okay, we want to do it fairly neatly, but at the same time it's got to be you know, quick fire. You've got to really do it quite quickly. And what this process does, the reason why doing it on a PC is not as effective, is the cutting and sticking process really connects you to your inner child. Okay, so what that does, it allows you, you know, back when you were a child, you had a lot more creativity and you didn't have any limiting beliefs. You know, they didn't exist in your world because no one had ever showed them or portrayed them to you. So this connects you back to that inner child. Okay, so let's say we like this yacht. Well, I would rip out, or I would kind of cut around and just rip out the yacht and keep that separate for when I'm going to stick that onto my dream board. You want to have a bunch of pictures. You know, some of them might not fit, might not align, but just have a bunch ready that you really like. Okay, we can just flick through here. You know, that would be a good backdrop. For example, we've got the beach here. We've got a nice kind of lighthouse thing going on there. You know, little mini village. So that's pretty cool. You want it to be quite big. You want it to be mainly maybe 4 big backgrounds. This might not be the best magazine, but you know, so that would probably be quite a good backdrop. You just want to make sure you kind of get around that. But hopefully you get the idea. And so that's my third dream board. My first dream board is here, okay? And you'll notice how it's quite rectangular. Okay, let me just put the two side to side so you can actually see the difference here. All right, so you notice on the left, everything kind of, let me just go back, it blends together. Okay, it all kind of comes together in these two, all of the objects here, the yacht and the plane, they all point to the center. Okay, it all points to the center, so everything kind of connects in this almost like recurring circle. It's like the infinity loop. You know, don't ask me about it. It's just an energy thing, so it's really important. But if we go back here, you know, there is an element of 3D. You know, there's the cars kind of going across these separates. You know which one's which. You know, so, you know, this looks 3D. It looks like you can just reach out and grab it. It looks very real, but I'm not sure what that is. That's okay. So that's an income goal I had. So I think that's probably the same. I think that was just something I stuck on. So anyway, you could see that the rectangular aspects kind of don't really, they kind of divide the vision board. So they don't really make it very easy to visualize what you're going after. Okay, so that's my first vision board. That's an idea. You want it to not be rectangular, so just make sure you have lots of big, going back here, lots of big backdrops to avoid that. Okay, so that's my first dream board, which is still not a bad attempt for number one. So we're going to flip over to the second one, and you'll notice it's a little bit more blended. You know, let me just okay, so there's a couple of watches there. You know, the yacht's going on the inside. We've also got this sign here that kind of, it looks very 3D. We've got the, you know, believe, great, best of the rest, luxury, you know, pounds, all kinds of motivational words that really help you to visualize. You know, you can stick some goals on here like I did on my first vision board. Let me just flip over again very quickly. So for me, it was, you know, $3,000 a month. So that was my goal at the time. I'll zoom in so you can actually see. Yeah, $3,000 a month. Awesome. So that's basically what you want to do with your dream board. That's what I would suggest.
Okay, so I hope you got some massive value from this video. If you did, you know, be sure to go ahead and check out the rest of this blog post. Be sure to hit the link in the video description or somewhere in or around this video. You can always head over to sebrantigan.net, and when you do head over to sebrantigan.net, make sure to pick up my free PDF that's going to show you how to bring more people into your business, how to create more sales in whatever company you're doing, and really get that exposure and branding that you're looking for to take your business to the next level. So I hope you got massive value from this video. If you did, please like, comment, and share, and we'll see you on the next one.